Hello to all YouTubers and welcome back to day number 11 of this 90-gallon build process. Today I'm going to cover the unboxing of 40 pounds of Manado Live Rock. Now this is a new type of live rock and there is 40 pounds of it sitting on the bottom of the display tank, and there is some rubble rock, and we're going to get into all of that in detail. We're going to get a closer look at the live rock and we're going to discuss a little bit about it, not too much, because I will make an individual video that's going to be labeled live rock versus dry rock. You know, it came well packed here, and I can tell you that UPS kind of beat up the box. However, you know, none of the pieces were broken off severely. So that's a good thing in itself. Now the rock itself came wrapped in this brown paper bag, which is still moist. I mean, I just took out the rock like maybe 10 minutes ago and added it to the main display. And you can see it came pretty well packed, but UPS really did beat up this box. I mean, the box was really dented out and whatnot. But happy to report that the live rock is in the tank. And let me tell you this, guys. Before I continue, let me just grab a seat here. Let me tell you that now, at this very moment, is the most exciting part of marine aquarium keeping. It really is. Now, setting up the system is awesome in itself, you know, when you do it correctly. But once you add the live rock into the system, we're really starting to get excited here, and that's because of the life that comes within the live rock. Now, one of the things that really captivated me about marine aquarium keeping when I first set up my first tank a little bit over 7 years ago was the life that I found within the live rock. I was like, holy, and it was extremely exciting to see this life coming out. And you can already see here, we're gonna take a closer look here because I'm looking at it from far away and I can see a worm sticking out here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Hopefully you can, but that is a worm. That is a marine worm. Now live rock has so much potential and power compared to that of dry rock or fake decorative rock, and we're going to get into that in a future video. But once I added the live rock to the system, I can tell you that the entire water volume turned really dense. It wasn't like regular just salt water turning around in the overall system, and that is because the bacteria within the live rock just spread all over the entire you know, tank here. Now the protein skimmer, and this is why I have this protein skimmer, because it is just absolutely awesome. I just added this live rock a few minutes ago and the protein skimmer has kicked in, and that's because live rock comes with lots of you know, some of the life that's within the live rock does go through death, you know, when it reaches your house. And this death is actually beneficial for you because it can help you cycle the tank better than no other way can. Now, if I was to cycle this system, and I'm going to do a video on cycling marine aquariums, because 50% of you asked me lots of questions about this particular subject. So that's going to be covered as well. I will cover everything in detail, but live rock in itself comes with dead matter, which begins to decompose and just helps you cycle the system really fast. If the quality of the live rock is really good, within a week your system will have no ammonia, no nitrite, and you'll see a really high levels of nitrates. Now, if I was not going to use live rock, I would use a dead piece of shrimp. There is no way in this world that I would add any fish to the system to cycle my system. That is just downright cruel, and you're exposing these fish to ammonia and nitrite poisoning. Definitely not okay in my book, guys. But another thing that I wanted to cover here, before we take a quick tour around the live rock, I'm going to show you the different colors of coralline algae, is that I mentioned here, you can see the filter sock. This is what I was talking about, guys. I mean, it's a tedious part of a marine aquarium keeping when you use filter socks, and if you can run your system without them, it would be so much better, because you can see here in about 3 days this filter sock got clogged easily. Now it's billowing over water all over the first stage, and that's fine. I do plan on continuing to keep the filter sock until I get the live sand. Now the live sand, initially I was going to order the live sand first, but the retailer did not have the grain size that I was looking for. They do have it now. I'm going to place the order a little later on, and once the sand gets here, I'm going to talk about adding live sand to the marine aquarium system, the best way to do it. We're going to cover all of that. I'm going to make sure that you guys know what you're doing when you set up a 90-gallon system or a 30-gallon nano system or any nano system for that matter. Now, here is the refugium stage. Now, one thing that I wanted to discuss here that is very important is that when live rock is shipped, it does experience some break off. And the result of that is, of course, a rubble rock. Now, rubble rock, very important. Do not discard. If you ever plan on buying live rock and you have some rubble rock, all this rock that settles down at the bottom of the bag where there's more water than anywhere else in that bag is where the life likes to settle. So during the time that your rock is shipping over to you, this life likes to settle down at the rubble rock. Do not discard your rubble rock. And if you don't like the way it looks, what you can do is add it momentarily for a few weeks and then slowly get rid of it if you want to have a clean sand bed look here or a clean, miracle mud look here. But definitely do not discard that. It is very important. If you add this rubble rock to your refugium, the refugium will take life. Everything, the sponge, everything that you see here is just going to be completely overwhelmed with bacteria and life. Now I took some of the chaetomorpha here from the 90-gallon system and further seeded it down here. And just to help the rubble rock even more, because I want to make sure this system is going to be up and ready for me to start adding corals within a few weeks. We're going to cover all of this. We're going to cover the cycle of marine aquariums and when is it adequate for you to add an anemone. Definitely not at the beginning of your system, and that's because you want to learn how to play around with the pH and everything else. Oh, and speaking of pH here, one of the main reasons why I doubled this skimmer in size, this is an AquaSea EV240 capable of handling up to 240 gallons, is that when I upgraded it from the EV180 to the EV240, I saw a significant amount of difference in the oxygen that's being pumped into your system. Because these skimmers utilize such high shear power to create bubbles, they pull in air like no other skimmer can. I mean, we're talking a MagDrive 18 is powering this skimmer. And ever since I upgraded to this skimmer, my pH never drops below 8.0, despite, even if I were to add calcium and alkalinity to the system. It just does not drop. So, not only does having a larger skimmer beneficial for you because it can remove more waste, but it can actually be beneficial for you in that it'll oxygenate your water even more. The bigger the protein skimmer, definitely preventing some fluctuations in pH. And so quickly here, I'm going to give you a quick tour. Some of this rock here, I've already discovered some corals here. There's actually like a red Montipora Capricorn is growing on this back piece here, but it's so tiny that I don't think you guys will be able to actually see it. And it's actually right in that hole. You see, right beside that hole, you can see the red area with the white rim around it. Let me try to zoom out a little bit to see if you guys can see it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I hope you can. But this particular rock in itself is just absolutely awesome. I mean, it's Manado rock, and it is the closest rock that you will find to that of Marshall Island live rock, which is the best rock that you can get your hands on. Very porous, unfortunately, and very lightweight. Unfortunately, Marshall Island rock is illegal to be collected. They stopped it because you know, so much people was ordering Marshall Islands, they actually made it a law. So you can't get a hold of that rock. But if you want live rock, you definitely want to look into buying pieces like this that are very porous, broken coral skeleton heads that are broken off by storms in the reef and just settle down, and so much coralline algae grows on it that it actually starts to resemble the shape of a rock. And you can see here, this piece in itself was a coral. You can definitely see it. All of this came from the ocean. Red coralline algae, burgundy coralline algae, orange coralline algae, bright green coralline algae, different shades of purple, some black coralline algae there is. Here you can see some yellow coralline algae growing on this particular rock. And you can see it, it's yellow and a bright green. You can see some burgundy and some red over on the other side. This is awesome live rock, absolutely awesome. The darker areas that you're looking at here are probably the ones that were buried beneath the sand in nature, and this rock is just absolutely awesome. You can see some black coralline algae here, and the shapes and sizes. And you know, I requested them to give me these particular pieces here to be able to make some nice caves, and we're gonna make a video on aquascaping your marine aquarium. So hope you guys have enjoyed the video here, day number 11. Very exciting for me, because for the next couple of hours I'm gonna be studying this rock here. I'm gonna be trying to find different life and different worms, and what actually sprouts out of these rocks is just amazing. So stay tuned for the next video, guys. Rate my videos, you know, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't, it doesn't matter to me. Oh, and I've reached 2,000 subs. Let me just tell you guys that I thank each and every one of you for supporting my channel, for taking my recommendations. I really feel good about what I'm doing here when it comes to sharing my experiences with marine aquariums. So hope you guys have enjoyed the video. NewYorkSteelo signing out. Peace.